Welcome back to the podcast. I've got an epic episode in store for you today. But before we get into it, if you haven't tuned into the YouTube yet, this might be the one. You guys, I knew this day would come. I knew it would come. It's inevitable. We can't expect this day to not come. The reason I was so hesitant to go on video for this podcast for so long was because you have your days where you're not camera worthy. You have your moments where you're ready to record and you're in your full pajama set, velvet with stars all over it. It says twinkle twinkle on it because it's day one of your bleed, but you get the inspired hit for the episode. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to resist it. I'm not going to pretend it's something else. I'm not going to make it be something else. We're going to record this podcast from right here, right now. So to make it even snazzier, I decided to wear my plot twist glasses, because this episode has to come, and it has to come right now. And I don't ever want to let the video part of showing up stop me from showing up. So here we go. And I feel like this is almost a really great gift of opening, because after this episode, I'm just going to shed any layer of a narrative that says things have to look a certain way. You can't really do more than this. So here we are. Welcome to today's episode on the Sanctuary of She podcast. Let's get into it, shall we? You guys, this episode, I want to drive us home to something that we know, but something that we forget. We forget, as women, the utter freaking importance of, the importance of puttering. To putter. Have you heard this? This is a term that the older generations used, and we are bringing it back. Puttering is one of the most magnificent, magical, feminine, connect to your power and your channel things that we can do. What is it to putter, you may ask? To putter is to have nothing on your agenda. To putter is to be in full presence, not checking something off a to-do list, not running an errand. To putter is to gift yourself pockets of time where there is no plan. And literally, you get to do whatever you want in that space. Literally, you get to eradicate all of the things that you're doing that you need to get done, all the things. And you just say, if I take a look around, what is calling my interest? What book can I pick up off the shelf that's been whispering to me? What craft do I want to start? What random thing do I want to research on the internet? What prompt do I want to dive into in my journal? What recipe would I love to create from what's in the fridge? What would I love to do? I don't mean procrastination, because these might ring true to the you who is procrastinating, but that's coming from a completely different energy. That's coming from a resistance. So, let me fill up my time by resisting something else with this. That is a completely different place. That's still coming from masculine energy. If you haven't listened to the episode Chaos Makes the Muse, that pairs really well with what we're talking about today. But it is like, this is a pocket that we forget way too often. The power of the fully open feminine, the fully open channel, the power of that. You guys, life is trying to give you everything you want, But our masculine structure that we have been born and raised in this society to adopt and fit our life into so that we can check all the boxes and hold all of the pieces keeps us so narrow visioned and so narrow focused on what we're doing and the task at hand and what comes next and the objective of every move that we're making, or the resistance and the procrastination of said things, that we are not open enough to see and listen to the pieces trying to make it through. And puttering is the quickest way to do this. Whenever I forget this and then I come back to it, I'm like, oh my God. For any of you who have had really potent plant medicine ceremonies are so incredible. I personally have had really incredible experiences with different types of plant medicine because in a matter of hours, you can do years worth of work. In a matter of hours of puttering, you can do months of collapsing time. It takes one thought, one idea, setting one thing into motion, tapping open one creative channel to start a snowball effect of so many pieces coming that you've been waiting for. Like we talked about in the last episode, the illusion of the wall between where you are and where you want to be only exists because you put it there. That version of you on the other side of the wall, we only put her there on the other side of this self-created and illusioned wall, typically because of one of two things. We have her over there because it's fully materialized over there, and it's not over here. So that means there must be some type of door that we have to go through or wall that we have to break through. And then the other thing is we create this perception that because it's fully materialized over there, there's this level of glamour. There's this level of just magic and a frequency and a vibrancy that is so incredibly just flawless. And right now, we're still figuring out our shit. Right now, we still are in the messy middle. Right now, we're still gaining clarity as with every piece of action that we take. Well, I have news for you. The wall doesn't exist. There is no spoon. The wall doesn't exist. And in order to collapse time, in order to shed the illusion of the wall, we must putter. We must gift ourselves the gift of puttering. Because as women, our channel and how we are connected to that channel is how the magic comes in. And we must have that masculine part of our being that creates a structure so that our feminine can flow. But when you come into your feminine, you gotta give her your all. You've gotta clear the schedule. You've got to create space for her to play, for her to ruminate, and put your phone away. Put your phone away. No scrolling. Airplane mode, do not disturb. Get it out of here. Literally put it away. Play music, light a candle, light an incense. Get in the vibes. Wear your cozies. Ovulation, day one, whatever it is. Today, personally, was my day one. So this entire afternoon, I've had nothing on my schedule. I actually didn't even plan it that way. It just happened. And I was like, wow, I am feeling so deep, so anchored today. Tom just happens to be gone for the entire day. So I'm like, I'm gonna putter. Oh my God. Do you know what I've done today? I have found 3 new books that I want to read. I started a TikTok account and researched a bunch of TikTok things. I sat and was with my new vision boards that I got printed for 2025 and had the most amazing time with them. I had a full-blown, really cool conversation with ChatGPT about my business. I anchored away from so many of the pieces of the structure, and I allowed myself to land in the bliss, in the here now. And through that, I've generated so many ideas. Through that, I've gotten so clear on pieces that I didn't even know that I was really still seeking clarity around. And through that, I've allowed myself to rest and allow my nervous system to be okay in the resting period. in the masculine system, even if you're not connected to hustle culture anymore, it runs so deep that we create a story that if we're in full rest mode or we're in full detachment from our to-do list, aka in full putter mode, that we're doing it wrong. And that if we take our grip and control off of the piece, that it's gonna explode, it's gonna all get disconnected. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. You must create space to come home. And you must allow your nervous system to find peace in that, because it's all a quantum mirror. It's all a cosmic mirror. So if what you want and what you're doing it all for is peace in the future, but you're not feeling it in the now, and you're making putter periods wrong, or you're not gifting yourself putter periods, then you're not going to get it there. We cultivate here what we seek. And then the wall doesn't exist. And then there is no spoon. And then you tap into the compound effect of that. You start putting things into motion, not because they have a structure and a complete objective and result that you're specifically seeking through that thing. There's no room for magic in there. That's not it. That's not it. You wait for the inspired action, the inspired idea, and then you start putting it into motion, because it's like, oh, what's this? Like me with TikTok today. I'm like, what? Who am I? I just did 3 TikTok posts and they're already getting like 100 times more engagement than anything I've posted on the Sanctuary of She Instagram. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's giving me ideas. It's making me think about the way I'm creating content. It's making me think about the way that I'm connecting with people on social media. This is how we start to set things in motion. And when every piece of action that you're doing from both the masculine place but also the feminine place start to work together, there's not as much pressure or expectation on each individual action, but they actually start all working together as a symphony that is then making you a complete aligned match for what you've been wanting on the other side of the wall. But like we talked about in the last episode, you were never going to get there by just waiting for it to be fully materialized, because I am, therefore I am. It's a mirror. So when you put it into motion, then you're there. And it gets more into motion, more into motion, more into motion, but you realize there's no destination. Life is just one big motion, and an object in motion stays in motion. The bigger it gets, the bigger it gets. Your best keeps getting better. The more you can hold continues to expand. And then it starts getting really fun. And then you start really deeply tapping into the possibility and the pure potentiality of everything. And you realize that this illusion of glamour, this illusion of Pinterest perfect, this illusion was never real. And it was also a self-created little block that you put inside there of sneaky self-sabotage to keep yourself safe. This little piece of yourself that said, oh, well, she's got to be perfect, so we'll just let her stay over there on the other side of the wall. No, it's so crazy. When I was talking with ChatGPT today, I was asking it to like play with me in the realm of what would a day in the life look like of this, this, and this, and it wrote it back to me, and it was like, how does this sound? And I was like, ChatGPT, you know what? You literally just described my average day. Like already. Like that's literally my life. Like there's a couple little things different, but that's literally already what it is. It's happening in the now. You're in the happen right now. There is no wall. There is no spoon. And when we can let ourselves come into this, we realize it's not about creating the Pinterest perfect, glamorous frequency that's there in all things, though that does continue to grow. But it also just allows you to find the beauty and the glamour in the most mundane of things, like being in these velvety pajamas on a Thursday afternoon puttering, because I've created a life where I can randomly decide to do that on a Thursday. I find just as much magic when I'm walking my dog, when I'm running errands, when I'm cleaning the house, literally, I kid you not, as I do when I'm puttering, when I'm in meditation, and when I'm doing the work that I love so much. I've created this realm where it's not all glamorous, but because it's so connected to where I'm going, it all feels glamour filled. It all feels romantic. Every piece, down to the cup of coffee in the morning, all the way to like, doing the dishes, because it's me living in this life that I've designed, that I've created. And with every piece that I lean into, what we focus on expands, and it all just keeps getting better and better. And then you realize I can literally record a podcast in my sweats with my sunglasses on because I make the rules. And actually, doing that from a puttering place might have a really cool effect, but it doesn't matter because what feels fun to me in this putter place. So if you haven't puttered in a while, I strongly encourage you to gift yourself some time. And it's tough. One of my most difficult things is shutting off my mind from my to-do list and the things that need to get done. But the to-do list is never going away. The to-do list is never going away. And the masculine and feminine have to work together. One is only so strong without the other. But together, if they're both in their strength, oh my God, you become so unstoppable. You become so unstoppable. It's not even crazy. So, moral of this story, figure out your masculine systems and do the thing. Get it done. Don't let procrastination and resistance keep you in this small, suffocated, stagnant place any longer. Do the thing, get it done. Parkinson's law of time, however much time you have to get something done is however much time it will take. Create a time slot and get it done. Then your nervous system knows the needle is moving. I did my part and it's enough. I've set it into motion and it's enough. And then you get to come into your feminine, you get to putter, you get to play, you get to get the creative ideas and inspired action coming through in ways that weren't ever on the agenda for today. You set things into motion, you create connections and relationships and conversations. And then all of a sudden, they're working together. You get the next plan, the next piece of how to, you embed that into the masculine system, you get it done, you come back to putter. It must be a balance of the two. It must be a marriage of the two. This is how you will thrive. This is how we will thrive. This is how we will do it. And the next time you get inspired action to do something, but your mind creates an excuse of, oh, but it's not going to be totally perfect, or, oh, but I don't have makeup on, or, oh, but I. Think of me in these glasses, in these pajamas, on this podcast right now. And if I can do it, you can do it. You put it into motion, you set it free, and you come back to your putter. And then you go to your masculine, and then you go to your putter, and then you go to your masculine. And if you can become the person who taps into these, girl, we're going to be celebrating some big things very soon. If you can't hear, my dog is whining at me because he's ready to go for a walk. So I'm going to part now. I'm sending you so much love. You got this. Create, literally right now, go to your planner for the rest of the week and make this a weekly piece for you moving forward. Does not matter what else you have going on, what else, everything. Your circumstances right now are the perfect circumstances to set you up for exactly where you want to go. It's the truth. There's no other truth but that. Get behind that. Then go and carve out a couple blocks to get things done. Put your phone in airplane mode and get them done. You can get them done in that amount of time. Who are you on the other side of those things? You are the person who can come into putter mode and actually enjoy herself, actually rest, actually calm her nervous system, and actually collapse time because she's available and open to the magic that is trying to reach you. Everything you want in life is trying to reach you. What you seek is seeking you, and it's time to play in a way that feels so good and fun again. Chaos makes the muse. Exhale, release, enjoy, and I'll see you next week.